God, what did I do wrong?
You know what's funny? We spend so much time asking God for things, begging Him, crying out to Him. But how many of us ever stop to ask why He allows us to wait? Today, I want to tell you about grace. And before you think this is just another testimony, it isn't. Because this story begins before the miracle. There is a kind of prayer people rarely say out loud, not in church, not during group prayers, not even with close friends. Only whispered late at night, when hope feels heavier than faith. God, why is everyone moving forward except me? Grace is 31, responsible, kind, faithful. The kind of woman people admire easily. Your wife material, they often told her. At first she smiled when she heard it. Later it began to sound like sympathy disguised as praise. Because year after year, nothing changed. At 24, Grace wasn't worried. Life felt open. Marriage felt inevitable. She believed love would arrive naturally, the way everyone said it would. And for a while, waiting felt normal. Then time moved. Weddings multiplied. Friends became fiancés. Fiancés became wives. Group chats slowly changed topics, from dreams to diapers. Grace celebrated everyone sincerely. She danced at receptions, fixed veils, held bouquets. Then returned home to silence.
At first her prayers were gentle. God, whenever you're ready.
Later they became intentional. Lord, let this be my season. Then desperate, Father, please this year. She fasted, prayed midnight prayers, held onto every sermon about divine timing. Yet heaven remained quiet.
Not a no, not a yes, just silence.
And silence is confusing, because you don't know whether to keep believing or quietly prepare yourself for disappointment.
The hardest moments were not sermons, they were conversations.
So Grace, no one yet. You're not getting younger, maybe you're too selective. Advice came easily, understanding rarely did. People meant well, but every question echoed the same message: time is moving, and you are standing still.
One evening, after another wedding celebration, Grace came home exhausted.
She removed her makeup slowly, sat at the edge of her bed, and for the first time, she stopped trying to sound strong before God. Her voice trembled. God, I have done everything I know to do.
I prayed, I served, I waited.
A long pause filled the room. I am tired. Silence answered back. No sign, no reassurance, just quiet. And that silence hurt more than rejection ever could. Because rejection gives closure, silence leaves questions.
Did I miss God? Am I not enough? Did I do something wrong?
She lay back and whispered into the darkness, God, what did I do wrong? Days later, while sitting alone, a scripture surfaced in her memory. The Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him. It sounded comforting in church, but living inside, that word felt different. Waiting meant trusting without evidence, believing without movement, holding hope while heaven felt quiet. A thought came gently to her one morning. What if God's silence is not punishment? What if waiting is not failure? Grace realized something uncomfortable. Somewhere along the journey, she had begun measuring God's love by visible progress. Marriage had slowly become proof that she was seen and complete. And maybe God was teaching her she had always been seen and complete. She stopped negotiating with God, stopped setting invisible deadlines for heaven. Instead of asking when will it happen, she began asking who am I becoming while I wait? And something changed, not around her, within her. Peace arrived quietly, before answers did. Then in His perfect timing, God gave Grace a husband, someone who shared her purpose, someone who loved God, someone who cherished her deeply. He was not perfect, but he was perfectly right for her. Grace realized that every season of waiting, every tear, every question had prepared her for this man. And when she looked back, she was grateful for the wait, grateful for who she had become, grateful for God's quiet guidance all along.
Because sometimes God is silent, not because he is absent, but because silence teaches trust in ways answers cannot.
Anyone can believe when outcomes appear, but faith grows strongest in unanswered seasons. As Scripture says, "Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength," Isaiah 40:31. If this story spoke to your heart, if you are learning to trust God even in seasons that feel quiet, consider subscribing and becoming part of this community. Every week we share stories that remind you that God is still working, even when heaven feels silent. Before this video ends, I want you to do something tonight. Find a quiet moment, no long prayers, no perfect words, just honesty. Tell God exactly how waiting feels for you, not the strong version of you, the real you. And instead of asking when your answer will come, ask, "Lord, who are you shaping me to become while I wait?" Then write what comes to your heart, because sometimes clarity comes not through answers, but through surrender. If this story feels like your season, you can simply write, "I'm still trusting." You are not alone in the waiting. Maybe you understand grace. Maybe you are tired of pretending patience, tired of smiling while questioning privately. If that is you, hear this gently: delay is not rejection, and silence is not abandonment. Some stories do not begin with miracles. They begin with endurance. And one day Grace understood. Her story was never late. It was simply being written differently. So if God feels silent right now, maybe heaven is not ignoring you. Maybe God is doing his deepest work in the quiet. And if this story felt personal, there's another story about waiting you should watch next.